Hey y'all, Willie Downs here with Atlas Backyard Sheds. So over the last few weeks, we've been talking a lot about tiny homes. You know, we've done some tours, we've walked around and looked at some repos, we've talked about ways that you can save money when buying or building a tiny house. And that's really got the gears turning here for us here at Atlas. And we've been thinking about ways that we can really take this to the next level and offer something to y'all that is really affordable and economical. Look, we get it. Right now in today's day and age, it is really hard to get into affordable living. More and more people are struggling to find a way to really have a place to stay that isn't just outrageously priced. So what we have been tossing around the idea of is if we can design a home, a tiny house that falls under $25,000, completely finished out and ready to go. Because if we can get it under that $25,000 cap, then we're able to do rent to own. That means that if we can make this work, you would be able to get a tiny house using rent to own without having to run your credit. So even if you have bad credit, you'd be able to buy one of these. And eventually, a couple years down the line, you'd actually own it. And it would most likely it's going to put your payments under $1,000. That's what we're going for. That's our idea that we're working through. And I want to do this quick video to get your input. I want y'all's thoughts and opinions on this. So please let me know in the comments what you think, because really this is going to determine the direction we go with this. And we want to make sure that we're doing something that is going to benefit y'all and that y'all really think is done the right way. So right here behind me, this is what we call our Deluxe Cottage. This is a new style building that we did within the last 6 months or so. It's going to have a steeper pitch on it. It's going to have the overhang all the way around it. It's going to have the LP trim on the edges of the building, whereas most of our buildings are going to have the metal trim. All around, it is our premium building. Now, the price tag on this building is a lot higher as well. So we are balancing cost on the base building. So we could do something like this and maybe go smaller. You know, look, in the tiny home community, I get it. There's no limits on size. So you tell me, how small would you go? What is too small? What is too big? Now, obviously we're limited by price, but when it comes to size, how small would you go? 8 by 12? 8 by 16, 10 by 16, 10 by 20, 10 by 24, 12 by 24. What size is appropriate to live in to you? We've been looking at different plans online, and I think we could go a couple different directions. Let's take a look at this one here. So, for example, this is a 10 by 16. It's a 10 by 16, like I said, Deluxe Cottage. I was wondering, like, if we did something like this, if we did a 10 by 16, maybe we could, so you have, let's see, you have your door here on the end. Maybe you walk in, you have your kitchen on one side. Maybe you have your bathroom back in one corner. Maybe you have a couch that, like a futon, or a couch that pulls out into a bed, or your bed over here. There's different ways that it could be laid out. I was even considering, we might be able to put a loft up in the top, depending on cost. Might be able to put a loft up here to be able to put your bed up top, depending on the person and their abilities. Maybe that might be a good option. I know not everybody is able to do that. There's a lot of elderly people that maybe climbing up into a loft to go to sleep isn't the best option. Or if you're handicapped, maybe that wouldn't be a good option as well. So maybe having something on the ground floor. I definitely want to hear y'all's thoughts on that. What would be ideal arrangement? Having something on the ground level, having a loft to be able to put a bed up in the loft area. So yeah, there's that. Another option that I was thinking of, let's walk over here. Another option that I was thinking of is, do we want to include a porch? That is really going to be a big cost factor, and I think that's probably going to be the biggest determination on whether a porch is included or not. And really it depends on the overall size. So if we can go smaller, so maybe if we can go down to a 10 by 16 maybe, then maybe we can afford to put a porch on the end and keep it under that $25,000 cap. But let's go over here. I'm gonna show you. So we have a couple over here. Y'all actually saw these a few days ago when we did one of our videos on the repos. But just to kind of give you an idea of the possibility. So here's a couple different cabins that we have that have the porches on them. So here's a 4-foot porch on this one here. And here, there you go. So what do you think? Is it worth having the porch? Is that a waste of money? If you have $25,000 to spend, are you gonna put that into a porch? Or would you prefer to have a bigger interior area where you have more living space? You know, aesthetically, I like the porch. A lot of people like the aesthetics of having the porch, but when it comes to that price tag, if you're trying to keep it under $25,000, especially if you're trying to do something on a budget where you maybe are wanting to utilize that rent to own, so you're not having to worry about getting financing or affecting your credit, you know, what do you think? Is the porch necessary? Is it not? Would you get a porch? Let us know in the comments. Let's see, another consideration here is, so I showed you the building up front. That was our Deluxe Cottage. Now, a different style building would be like our standard Deluxe. Not the Cottage, is this gonna be our standard Deluxe, which is not gonna have the 1-foot overhang. It's not gonna have the steeper pitch. It's not gonna have the LP trim. It's actually gonna have the metal trim like this here. Let's see if I can, there we go. So you'll have the metal trim. Now it's a baked on enamel paint, you know, it's maintenance free. It's a great, you know, it's a great product. We've been using it for many years, but aesthetically, some people like the LP trim, especially for a home, and we get that. But again, when it comes to price, the Cottage is gonna be more expensive. So you could technically get a bigger living space with the Deluxe here behind us, the standard Deluxe versus going with the Cottage. So it's really just kind of a balance. What's more important? Is it the aesthetics? Do you want the porch, not the porch? Do you want the nicer cottage, the nicer looking cottage, or would the standard Deluxe without the overhang and all the bells and whistles, would it suffice to be able to get a little bit more floor space for a lower price tag? So anyway, that's the gist of this video, guys. We're just trying to brainstorm and get some ideas. And I would love to hear y'all's opinions. If there's any floor plans that y'all love, maybe I'm sure y'all have been doing lots of research here. If there's any floor plans that y'all love for a particular size, please share that with us in the comments as well. We'd love to see them. And we're really hoping to get the ball rolling on this within the next few weeks. So let us know. And yeah, I can't wait to share the next steps with y'all. And we'll see where this goes. Thanks, guys.